There was once an old man, an old woman, and a little girl, and they lived together in a house made of turnips. The old man had a little dog, and the dog was called Little Dog Turpie. One night, the Hobyahs came, and they said, "Hobyah, Hobyah, Hobyah, tear down the turnip house, chase off the old man, chase off the old woman, put the little girl in the Hobyah bag." But Little Dog Turpie barked and barked until the Hobyahs ran away. Only then did the old man wake up, and he said, "Oh, Little Dog Turpie barks so loud I cannot sleep or slumber. If I live till morning, I'll shut him up in the turnip box." And he did. And that night, the Hobyahs came, and they said, "Hobyah, Hobyah, Hobyah, tear down the turnip house, chase off the old man, chase off the old woman, put the little girl in the Hobyah bag." But Little Dog Turpie wiggled and bumped and jiggled and thumped and jumped right out of the turnip box. Then Little Dog Turpie barked and barked, so the Hobyahs were frightened, and they ran away. Only then did the old man wake up, and he said, "Oh, Little Dog Turpie barks so loud I cannot sleep or slumber. If I live till morning, I'll shut him up in the turnip box and tie it tight with turnip string." And he did. And that night, the Hobyahs came, and they said, "Hobyah, Hobyah, Hobyah, tear down the turnip house, chase off the old man, chase off the old woman, put the little girl in the Hobyah bag." Little Dog Turpie wiggled and bumped and jiggled and thumped, but he could not get out of the turnip box, all tied up with turnip string. So the Hobyahs tore down the turnip house, chased off the old man, chased off the old woman, put the little girl in the Hobyah bag. The old man and the old woman ran and ran, and the little girl was carried off in the Hobyah bag back to the Hobyah cave. And when the Hobyahs got there, they saw that the sun was coming up. And they were very tired because, as you know, Hobyahs sleep during the daytime and are awake at night. So they took the Hobyah bag and they hung it up on the wall of the cave, and each one, before he went to sleep, went over to that bag and went, "Look me, look me, look me." And the little girl was left there hanging on the wall of the Hobyahs' cave. The old man and the old woman were running and running until they got so tired they could run no more. And when they had enough breath to speak, The old man said, "Old woman, what has become of our little girl? We must go and find her." And so they listened, and they looked, and they looked, and they listened, and they heard the sound of their little girl crying. And they followed that sound until they found themselves standing outside the Hobyah cave. And they looked in, and all the Hobyahs were fast asleep, but there, hanging on the wall of the Hobyah cave, was a Hobyah bag. And they took down that Hobyah bag and opened it up. And there was their little girl. And they hugged her tight and hung back the empty bag on the wall of the Hobyah cave. And they walked away from the Hobyah cave, and the old man said, "Old woman, what has become of little dog Turpie? We must go and find him." And then the old man remembered what I'm sure you already know. He had shut little dog Turpie up in that turnip box, and he had tied it tight with turnip string. So they went back to where they used to live, and their house made of turnips was gone. But there was the turnip box, all tied up with turnip string. The old man struggled and struggled to untie those knots, and he could not do it. So the old woman reached into the pocket of her apron, and she brought out a pair of scissors. And she said, "With my scissors I snip, with my scissors I snap." And she cut right through that turnip string. And they opened up the box, and out jumped little dog Turpie. And the old man said, "Come with me." And he brought little dog Turpie back to the Hobyah cave. And he put little dog Turpie inside the Hobyah sack and hung it back up on the wall of the Hobyah cave. And the old man left. Well, when nighttime came, all the Hobyahs got up, and they began to do a big dance of celebration. And as each one danced past the Hobyah bag, that Hobyah would take his fingers and poke at the bag and go, "Look me, look me, look me." And the next Hobyah would dance up to the bag and go, "Look me, look me, look me." And I can tell you, little dog Turpie did not like that one bit. Well, the time came when the Hobyahs were tired of dancing, and they took down that sack, and they opened it up, and out jumped little dog Turpie. And little dog Turpie jumped at those Hobyahs, and he ate up every single one of them. And then he went back and joined up with the old man, the old woman, and the little girl. And that's why we don't see Hobyahs anymore, because little dog Turpie ate up every single one.